Hey guys, it's right here, and today I have a video for you. I'm going to be going over the recent Battlefield Hardline Beta. You guys know from watching my channel, I'm a huge Battlefield fan. It is my favorite video game series, and I got a chance on the Xbox One to play the Battlefield Hardline Beta, and after playing it, pretty much getting up past level 50, wanted to give you guys some of my impressions, my thoughts on the game heading into its release here. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so first a little bit of a disclaimer. I was able to play all the different classes in the Battlefield Hardline Beta and unlock a bunch of different gadgets and weapons for each class. I didn't unlock everything, so some of the stuff I can't give, like, you know, a complete review or my impression on. I do like to, in a beta, not unlock everything or just go max level or whatever. I like to leave some stuff for the actual game when it comes out to still be surprised. So just to kind of give you guys a heads up about that. But the first thing I want to talk about, which I really like compared to Battlefield 4, is the weapon balancing. I feel the weapons in this game kind of hit the nail on the head as to what they should do. And let me go ahead and explain that. So what I mean by that is that if I'm in a close quarter situation and I'm carrying a DMR, for example, I am likely going to get outgunned by an SMG. However, if I'm shooting somebody who's maybe with a DMR who maybe has an assault rifle or an SMG, and they're, you know, at range, my DMR is going to be more effective. And I think that comes down to that the weapons in this game pack more punch, they do more damage. The time to kill compared to what is currently going on in Battlefield 4 is a lot less in this game. It takes fewer bullets, fewer shots to kill your opponent, and I think that could be great. The way they've balanced it out with the weapons, with how they feels like it kind of hits a sweet spot for me. I feel like, you know, the SMGs pack that punch in close, but if you get out at range, you know, good luck. You're going to get outgunned by an assault rifle or a DMR. Shotguns are deadly in close. They're deadly in close quarters, but again, at range, at long, medium ranges, you know, they just the damage fall off just does them in, and you're going to get outgunned by other weapons in the game. And conversely, you know, a DMR. DMRs are great for medium to long range in this game. They pack a huge punch. They feel so much better than the DMRs did in Battlefield 4. However, you are going to get outgunned up close when you face an automatic weapon. So I just feel like they really hit a sweet spot with the balancing of the weapons and with how they act in certain situations, and it makes it feel like, okay, they kind of got it right, and it seems to work right. There's great weapons in this game for each class, but for far as I could tell in the beta, there didn't feel like there was just one overriding weapon that kind of took care of everything. And then you can use, yeah, there's weapons that are diverse, you can use in multiple situations, but, you know, even with my M16A3, I was getting outgunned by guys that had a PDW in close or a DMR at range. So I just think they really did a good job at getting the weapon balancing right as far as what I played in the beta. Another thing I think that they have done well in this game, that Visceral has done a good job at in regards to the weapons, is streamlining the weapons. Sometimes less is more, and I think that applies in this case. You know, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 had just a ton of weapons, and many of those weapons, you know, never got used, never saw the light of day in the battlefield. The developers had to worry about buffing this weapon, nerfing that weapon, all these different character balancing issues to try and make them feel better. I mean, they all can't feel like the M16A3 in Battlefield 3. You know, they have to have some diverseness there, some diversity, some variety. Just change things up a little bit to make it feel, you know, like a weapon is different. One weapon is different than the other. And when you have so many weapons to choose from, that could be a bit of a headache for players and developers alike. So I think that them streamlining the weapons to what we got in the beta, with maybe a few extra here and there for DLC, is the way to go. The weapons felt different. They felt like they performed differently. The AKM felt different than the M16A3, and I felt like I can use both to effectiveness once I got a feel for the weapon. And that's kind of what you want in these games. You don't need, you know, 100+ weapons in a game to make it a viable game, or just because, hey, I love that that M16A4, so it's got to be in this game because that's my favorite weapon to use in any of these games, and that's what I use. Well, you can find a happy alternative, hopefully, but just find one that suits your play style. That's really what it comes down to. And if they're able to streamline it and make it more fun and make the experience better, then it's worth it. Now, another thing I like about Battlefield Hardline, which honestly I wasn't sure if I'd like, you know, or not, is the vehicles in the game. And let me kind of explain here. Now, again, gone are the tanks, gone are the LAVs, gone are the, you know, military-style, big, bad, beefy, you know, vehicles that you would use to blow a hole in the side of a building and stuff like that. While those are great, and I was a big, you know, fan of those vehicles in Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 3, I've always been a tanker and a guy that loves to get in the vehicles and use them. At the same time, it feels good, the vehicles in this game, and I think because I had a good group of friends I was playing with, we tend to work well in vehicles together. I unlocked my stunt driver perk, and it was basically using the vehicles to great effectiveness as a team. The vehicles in this game seem to be more based around teamwork. They can hold more players, especially the SUV with the minigun on it, and, you know, the armored SUV or the armored truck that, you know, could carry like a full team of guys. You know, like an armored personnel carrier. Those seem to work great in, you know, taking damage, but also in just being effective on the battlefield in a team scenario. And I think that it does a great job of this. You know, in Battlefield 4, it's not like a ton of guys would go and just, oh, let's go hop in the tac truck or go hop in the Hummer, the Humvee, or, you know, that just wasn't really something that a lot of players would do. In this game, it feels like, okay, we were waiting for the armored SUV to pop up so we can hop in it and then take it around and use it as a mobile spawn point, or use it as actually a great weapon on the battlefield to confuse the enemy. And I oftentimes would just drive it around in circles, you know, using it to spawn characters, spawn players, and so we can essentially take a flag with great effectiveness, even if the enemy was pouring resources into that flag. So I think they've done a good job so far with the vehicles. They don't seem to overpower the gameplay like you can get vehicles in Battlefield 3 and 4 doing, but they seem to be very viable even on some of the Conquest large maps and some things like that. And plus, with the new Hotwire mode, which is fantastic, it's great seeing vehicles really come into play as they are part of the game, part of the flag, part of an objective. So let me go into that, the new game modes. I dig Hotwire. It's a ton of fun. Heist is a good game as well. It's a little different than what you used to get in Rush. I'm excited to play some of these new game modes and try them out, as well as, you know, my favorite Conquest large coming back, and it seems like, okay, they've done some fun stuff. I remember a buddy of mine we were playing when he finally kind of understood what we were doing in the Hotwire mode. He just kind of lit up and was like, oh, I get it, the cars are the objectives and you gotta drive them fast. And then we started working together to, you know, have, you know, chases and Michael Bay style action movie sequences with car chases and explosions and stuff like that. And it's something that just hasn't been done in Battlefield before and is just a ton of fun. I had a blast with it, even when people were shooting rockets at us or setting up breaching traps or something. You kind of get a giddiness as a Battlefield fan that they have a game mode like this in there, and that can, when you play it with a group of your friends, can just be so much fun. And the next thing I want to talk about is some of the gadgets and how they've kind of streamlined some of those, and really, again, for me, from my perspective, they've done a good job at kind of basically taking out a lot of the spam that you get in the game. When I was playing the beta, I never felt overwhelmed by, you know, what felt like 15 grenades getting thrown at me at once as I walked through a doorway or rounded a corner. You know, being in a vehicle and getting hit with, you know, 7 different, you know, rockets from all different sides shooting at me because, you know, half the team is playing as an engineer with an RPG. They do have those in the game, but it's different now. You can't just spawn in and you have a rocket on your back and can, you know, keep replenishing them. Now it's an unlock where you have to go and grab the rockets from the back of a vehicle, you know, that you hop into or something like that. So I just think doing it that way really has kind of made it a better experience as far. And I know some people that love to run as engineers and stuff are gonna complain about this, But I just think it's better for the overall experience. The game should not devolve into, you know, I got a vehicle, so I got to now be scared about where I drive it into. One of the things you guys see in previous videos I've done, and if you've ever, you know, watched my videos, or for those of my friends that play with me, they always know, I always say, you don't take a tank into capture a flag. You don't take that LAV and just drive it right down into the spot where your objective is, because you're going to get hammered with C4, with RPGs, and you're going to end up dead real quick. And that's not really the way you should. When you think about it, you shouldn't be scared to get into a tank and drive into where there's some infantry and start firing and taking guys out. But really, in Battlefield 4, you really have to play it that way because of the danger that multiple infantry can pose to you, with two different classes that can run C4, and with the multitude of explosive rockets that are carried by the engineer class. It's just almost impossible to feel like you can be real aggressive with the tank and make it survive at the same time. This is even when you, let's say, you have a friendly helping rep you. So it's just, I think, better that they kind of streamlined it, said we're still keeping these in the game, but we're going to streamline them a little bit so you don't feel overwhelmed by the amount of explosives that are in the game. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about here is the money unlock system that they have in Battlefield Hardline, ditching that old tiered system of unlocks for a money system, meaning that you can kind of unlock different gadgets, different weapons, whenever you want to unlock them, basically, which is really, I think, a great way to go for these games. It allows you to basically purchase whatever weapon, weapon options, thing like that. So let's say if you have a weapon that you've just unlocked and you want to unlock a stubby grip for it. Well, once you get a certain amount of kills, you can unlock a stubby grip, an angled foregrip, a vertical grip. Whatever grips are available in that slot are now available for you to purchase. You don't have to then go and get a certain amount of kills to get this one, a certain number of kills to get that one, a certain assignment to get this one. All that's kind of gone. It's basically, once you've unlocked that ability, you can then go ahead and purchase whatever you like for it. And I really like that. Some of the gadgets, for example, are shared among classes, like the gas mask and the grappling hook and those things. And some aren't. So you still might have to play as a certain class to unlock certain weapons or gadgets. But it does allow you to, that once you get to that tier to where it's available for unlock, you just unlock whatever you want. There's no more waiting, and it just kind of streamlines everything. So if you have an idea about the type of class and kit and playstyle you want to play with in Battlefield Hardline, you just basically pick that, start going at it. Once you hit those tiers, you can use that money to start buying what you want, and it's just a kind of a more streamlined, fun way for you to be have a customized role in Battlefield Hardline. So in summation, I really enjoyed the Battlefield Hardline beta. It was a lot of fun. It gave me a great idea because I wasn't sure what I was going to feel about it going into it, if I was going to like it or not, but it really does seem to take a lot of the good things about past Battlefield games, streamline some of the things that people didn't like about some of the last games, streamline them, kind of tighten everything up, and really make a fun, enjoyable multiplayer shooting experience. And I kind of like what I saw so far. So I'm looking forward to getting the game here on March 17th and playing with some of you guys. Until next time, this is Rai. Take care.